Jay from Team DMA bringing you another video. This video is going to be regarding Master Duel, as I've had several questions asked. 10-20 people asked me at different points within, I don't know, maybe like the last month or two regarding Master Duel. People are aware I don't play Master Duel, and people that know me close by know why I don't play it. But when it comes to like entering the tournament or helping out the community, people were aware that I used to have people in charge. The current person in charge right now is DC, which he's from the famous YouTube channel DC Play. So I will be putting a link, and then I think at the end of the video I'll be putting his channel so also that you can see it. But he's basically in Team DMA. He's the pioneer. He's at the top. He's the one in charge of the Master Duel, anything that has to do with Master Duel. We have other people like Prism who are also very excellent players, top tier players, very strong players. And we have Ghost. We have plenty of players, actually, to be honest. We have the new introduction of CJ. We have Adele. We have a lot of people coming by, maybe like 6-7 other people. But mainly DC is the one that has the... I gave him like... I see him, I see what he's doing, and he's basically the best, you know? He's basically the best. People can argue, but I mean, yeah, from what I see, it's going to be hard to beat DC. He just does so much for the community and Master Duel. He plays all the decks that even I can't do that. So why do I bring all that up? Because we did have someone prior to him, which was Ziholi. He was deemed, you know, he started in the Dark Mission classes that I played. So they started with no videos, not playing Dark Mission, and I taught them, and they actually made it all the way to Master 1, which in a technical sense, like, it can't be argued, he is a Master Dark Mission even more powerful than I am. He can't do it on TCG, but in Master Duel he can. And my deck is handicapped for Master Duel. That's why I don't like Master Duel. I can't play all the cards that I play in TCG. So he's no longer available because of his schedule. So DC took over, and we're gonna move on with this video regarding the Dark Mission deck. So people have been asking about the Dark Mission deck, how to build it and whatnot. When you start in the duel, you gotta go through the tutorial, and as you go through all that, what ends up happening is you get some free gems, and then also you get to pick a free starter deck. What you do is you're gonna wanna utilize that money, don't waste it, and the first thing you do is you're gonna wanna buy this Magician's Vortex structure. When you open it, it comes like with one-ofs, and you build the Dark Magician deck from there. So we're gonna be moving to a profile that people recommend a starting point, and I'm gonna tell you why is wrong. Now, people seem to take like anything I say offensive or like attacking someone or something like that, but people are missing the point. You see, this channel, I don't make something to see if people like it. I don't make people to see if they don't like it. I don't care about those things. I only care about one thing, winning. Everything else to me is of no value. So people can say, Jay, you're arrogant, or this and that and this and that. But if you notice, those famous YouTubers, non-famous, they have one thing in common. They lose and they hate the Dark Mission deck, and they say it sucks. So there's a reason for that, because they don't know how to play it. Okay, so Dark Magician is quite powerful, and it can be played in very different forms. And I don't want to waste too much time, because I'm trying to keep this profile, or should I say video, extremely short. So this is a deck presented that is like a basic Dark Mission deck. But to be honest with you, it has a lot of flaws, and maybe it's not even worth building in today's Master Duel. Master Duel used to be okay like a full year ago, like 12 months ago. When it barely came out, it was okay. The current scene of Master Duel, because it's been out in the market for 2 years or maybe more, there's a lot of competitive players that play, and people don't realize it. So people might say like, Jay, you don't know what I'm talking about, or this and that. No. I know exactly what I talk about. I've gone into Master Duel myself, and when you're on Rookie, the strongest card in your deck is like Monster Reborn. You don't even have Regeki or nothing. And you're playing against Tier 0 Kashtira, Tier 0 Flundries, Tier 0 Labyrinth, like all kinds of Tier 0 decks that have like 12, 15 negates on the board. And people are like, you're exaggerating. No, I'm not. I have the recorded duels. I can show you guys. Your best card in your whole entire deck is Monster Reborn, and you have to deal with like 10 to 12 negates. Some of these decks are like broken strong. And Master Duel players don't show you that. They'll rig the video so that you only see the duels that they win, but they don't show you that they suck together with their deck, because in Master Duel, the ratio is you win 2, lose 1, and you can move up. In TCG, that means you suck. Your deck sucks. So in order to be a real successful deck, you would have to have like 80% win rate. And there is people who do 80% win rate. There is profiles for Dark Magician that are able to do that. But the issue with that is it goes away from Dark Magician. And that's what the community is starting to catch on. And I warned everyone. If you want a strong Dark Magician deck, they're going to have to go away from Dark Magician, and they're implementing other decks. They're no longer Dark Magician. It's a deck plus they splash Dark Magician, but it's not really a Dark Magician deck. And people are starting to catch on, and they don't want to play those decks. They want to play as pure as a Dark Magician deck as they can because they have nostalgia. They grew up on Dark Magician. They love Dark Magician. So for those players, I do have a profile for you, and that's what I specialize on Dark Magician pure. I'll splash 2-3 cards here that are like random, but they're only to help you back up your Dark Magician, excuse me. But this deck here, even though as a starting Dark Magician, to be honest with you, once you get into tier 1 and tier 0 decks, it's not going to help. So people are aware of it. They're like, yeah, we know this deck is trash, then why build it? Why waste your time? So I'm going to give you guys other options. From the beginning, you're gonna have broken deck. So if you've been following my channel, you saw how I made the structure deck. Secretly, people are not aware that deck is a Master Duel deck. People don't know that. That deck was created for Master Duel. This would explain why it has a Dragon Knight and nothing else. The deck doesn't require an extra deck. If you haven't seen the profile, well, now you know. And then I'm gonna show you the profile that was updated. So we're gonna be moving on to the updated profile. Okay, so here's the AC 130 and the Master Duel. So because people are gonna argue and say like, well, this and that, they're gonna start getting angry. If you wanted to start at a basic level, you can put 1 or 2 souls and increase the number of preparation and leave the Illusion of Chaos at 2. Because all you want to do is either get the Dark Magician to your hand or dump it to the graveyard. You don't want to do anything else, so everything else can start playing. So you need 1 souls or 2. 3 is too much. I mean, you can play it, but I mean, we're talking about starting point. You just buy the Vortex and you start with one of almost all of these cards. So from there, what you do is you increase the Illusion of Chaos and the preparation so that you don't need the rest of the cards. And you just make the rod and like that. So going off from the top, you need the 2 Dark Magicians, 1 or 2 souls, and then everything else as you see it, including the 2 Apprentice, and then the Bestial. You can include the Baldric there if these are too expensive for you or you can't get it. Everything else stays the same. The Feather is a mandatory because I've been warning people that Yu-Gi-Oh! Both Master Duel and TCG, I'm the only guy, like, go to my channel. It's been 5 years. People think that I'm updating my deck. That's a lie. That's the old profile, 5 years old. Pretty soon it's going to be 6. And I warn people, the deck is the only Dark Magician deck that stood the test of time. There's no other existing one. And I know because I've gone through a lot of decks, YCS, Meta, Rogue, top tier, tier 1, tier 0, and I've learned that some of the decks, you just can't handle them without back row. And a lot of the YouTube people that are losing with Dark Magician together with like supposedly Dark Magician experts, when you go to their channel, you see that they're lying to you. They super suck. Like, they couldn't suck more. They lose to like Feather, they lose to Storm, Vortex, they lose to all these cards. They lose to Evenly Matched. And to be honest with you, you don't have to. You can play a budget deck and stop all these cards. And this is what these profiles do. They're so broken, there's nothing that can break it. If they break it, there's cards that chain and activate because of it. And you can do comebacks. And that's why my channel is one of the only channels that you see me play against tier 1, tier 0, and I always come back. Now, for people who want to attack me and get angry, I win 80% of my duels. I never hide it. I lose 20% of my duels. But I mean, it is a budget deck. It's not bad because there's a lot of people who are top tier and they're only winning 40%. Their deck is better than mine and they suck. So here's the thing. After that, you're going to have the cards here that you see. Look, use your eyes and look at the cards. And then after you're done with this set here, you move on to the rest of the deck. And this is the rest of the deck. And people have told me like, well, I love to play like the 2 circle and the 2 eternal. That's fine, then play it. No one's arguing. A lot of people think that I'm against profiles. The whole point is that you win more. I don't care how many you want to play. You can play 3 circles, 3 eternal. That's not a problem. The problem is, are you winning? And that's where the debate is. I'm not telling people a profile sucks. I'm telling people you need to win more. If you can change some cards and win more, good for you. And this is basically the profile. Like I said, The cards for the floodgates, you basically murder all the tier 1, tier 0 with them. If those cards come out, they're trash to you. They're wasting your time. They're going to have to surrender. And then here you have added on the bottom the extra deck. As you can see, we have one slot to add a card. Oh, actually, it's already 15, right? Okay, so it is taken up. So you can move the cards as you please, but there's cards that are mandatory. In this deck, you're going to want to play, for example, the Scareclaw, the Tryhard, because he can break basically almost anything. You're going to want to play at least the Naruto because you're trying to substitute for Dragoon. You need Omni Negates. If you don't have Omni Negates, you're done. And you have the Dragon Knight, and then the Predator Plant, and then you have here the Chaos Angel, and you guys know how that works. You can put Access Kotaker. There's a lot more cards you can add. I just kind of put the ones that are mandatory. And that's it for the decks. This is the profile. So if you don't have the cards, just play them at one souls. The illusion, you do need 2 and like 3 prep. And then everything else is the same. The cards are cheap to build. A lot of them are rare. Some of them are common. And you won't have to pay for a lot of the ultra rare cards. But what you're gonna find out this deck, I took this deck all the way to Diamond 5. So people might feel like that's not high. It should get to Master. Well, if you're planning to switch to Master, you're gonna have to, most of all of your cards are gonna be ultras. It's expensive. And you can include like the Ash Blossoms, and you can include the Maxi, and that's why the Maxi is gonna let you draw a lot. So the Maxi is gonna do the same thing that the AC 130 does. What is that? Draw a bunch of cards. That's what the Maxi does. So because of the Maxi, you can play hand traps. You can play a lot of them. You can play like 6. I don't know, if you want to play more hand traps, you can. Because the Maxi lets you get into your deck, right? And as you get into the deck, your hand traps get active, so you can play them. There's a lot of people who think I'm against hand traps, I'm against that. They make me into like an ogre or a monster. I'm not a monster. If Maxi helps you draw, if you draw, then yeah, play hand traps. It's fine. And those are the decks that are starting to reach Master. The ones that have Maxi because you draw a lot. I mean, if you draw a lot of cards and you're not winning, you suck. That's the whole point of drawing the cards. So you draw, and then you draw your hand traps, plus you draw a bunch of cards, and you can unbreak. So those are the decks that are getting to it. So people are wondering, like, how come you don't recommend the Maxi or some of the hand traps? When people come back to TCG, they suck. And I told people since 2019 and 2020, I told people the hand traps don't work in Dark Magician. Right now, it's 2023, like 4 or 5 years later, guess what people are telling you today? They're telling you what I told you 5 years later. Do you understand how behind the Dark Magician community is? I told people that 5 years ago, and the community is barely figuring it out now. And that's what you get for listening to fake Dark Magician players. That you get a reward. There's a reward for whatever you do. So the reward for listening to the fake Dark Magician, famous channels and non-famous, is you left Dark Magician and you brick. It's your fault. If you would have listened to my channel since 5 years ago, you would have been murdering all kinds of decks. And this year would have been a repetition of 5 other years. And it doesn't work because you use 2 hand traps. You start with 6, right? You use 2 hand traps, right? And you're left with 4 cards. And the 4 cards you're left with are bricks. You lost. So what I do is I put board breakers. So I'll play like when you go second, I'll play like 2 Regeki, 2 Lightning Vortex, 2 Dark Ruler, no more. Just an example. You can add like 2 evenly matched. It depends. 2, like that. So then when you draw, you might draw 1 or 2 of the board breakers. So you play it and then you break the board and then the deck plays. But because you don't have hand traps, you're fine. And if you could draw a lot of cards like I can, then yes, you can play hand traps. But if you can't, they're going to make you lose. The hand traps are against you because you play them. And when you're playing against tier 1 and tier 0, what happens? For people who are advanced, what happens? Nothing happens. You play your hand traps and your opponents walk through it. They walk through Nibiru, you walk through your Ash, right? Why do you think Dark Magician players can beat the tier 1 and tier 0 decks? Why is it? Because those decks are strong? No, because they don't know what they're doing. Those decks are not affected by those cards. So I know that. So in my deck, I don't have those worthless cards. Like they're trying to get me Nibiru and all that. I don't play those cards. I'm going to play other cards. and then I shut them down completely. They can't play any other cards. I'm gonna end the video with that, but just keep in mind, this is a good starting point. So look at it again, write it down. For people who are barely starting, 1 souls, and then 2 illusion and chaos with like 3 preps is fine. And then you can have this part of the deck completed. And if you don't want to play the 2 soul servant, you can play 1 soul servant and 1 piercing the darkness, and it's fine. And then everything else is the same. And if you pay attention to it, a lot of these cards are either common or rare. You can build this deck real fast. And the rest of the cards you can get on my 1 of or 2 of by the Vortex structure deck. And that's it. And you only really need 1, what's his name? What's that guy's name? The Dragon Knight. You can include a few other ones back here. But yeah, the whole plan is this deck. if Master Duel had Dragoon, you would have 1 Omni Negate and he couldn't be destroyed. But with this deck, you have like 5 or 6 Omni Negates. Plus 4 or 5 interruptions for a total like a 10. So which one do you prefer, Dragoon or this? This is way more broken. And I've entered this into the tournament. And to be honest with you, people who know me, I don't even enter this deck into the tournament. Because there's too much going on. Because I play the village and I also add on here, I add Eradicator. So you're not going to play no spells. You're going to spend a summon. You can't link. When you play Nibiru, that's not going to work. Hand traps don't work. All of the hand traps. Bestials is not going to help you. You're not going to get help with Kaijus. I know how to freeze them. Like, nothing's going to help you. And then people turn around and call it toxic and get angry. So that's why I don't, when I play against my friends, I don't play like a format like I play against other people, because people call it cancer and you get frustrated. I don't want to make people angry. I only bully the people that bully the Dark Mission community. But like my friends, I don't bully no one. I play like regular decks. So that's gonna be it for the video. Hopefully you like it. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. I know I never cover Master Duel, but here and there I will. And I'll have another channel open for Master Duel. So the other channel, I kind of discontinued it because I was uploading duels, but nobody was really watching it. So I don't want to waste my time. So I just continued the channel. I can reopen another channel and have Master Duel content on there, but I don't want to mix it with this one unless you guys want me to. But I might just open another channel and give it another try. If the Master Duel doesn't get any views, then I just won't care about it again. But that's going to be it for the review of the deck. Something to start off with. Thanks everybody for being in the tournament. The tournament is going to be almost over. I think we have 1 more player and they're going to be going to the finals. Oh no, 2 more players. They're going to be going to the finals, and then that's it. After that, the tournament will be decided. Shout out to Prism Heart. Shout out to Golden Knight, Adele, CJ, Matrix, Job, DC, Black Ghost. And if I missed anybody's name, shout out to you guys too. Thanks for all the support, the help. And then YouTube channels are gonna start showing my packs already, because they were shipped out. So I shipped out about 6 or 7. I think I shipped out more, but that I can remember. I think I shipped like 6 or 7. I don't remember exactly, but I already shipped out the mystery packs. As soon as those channels start producing the mystery packs, I'll send you guys a link so you can see the product inside if you're interested for next year. This year I'm out of product. It all sold out all the shops, so we'll be talking about next year when I get restocked. So with that having been said, you guys, Dark Magic Deck.